Well, all right. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? Whoa, Jay here. We got the kettle brewing up nice and hot water here for you today. How's it going? We're back again on the Coffee Q&A every morning at 10 a.m. for the most part. And so like yesterday, we had this coffee that we got from the Jerusalem Coffee Market, a place called Shuk Cafe that my friend Muddy gave to me to try. Actually, he just said, here, just try some of them, give me back the bag. So I totally get it. But yesterday we tried this one called the Golden Black, and today we've got this coffee here that's called the Domingo Filter. And Domingo Filter is it's well, evidently it's a French press kind of coffee because look at it, you've got the French presses here, and yeah. So what does it say? It says strong dark chocolate and mocha, and a French roast. So I'm thinking that this coffee is going to be a lot darker than yesterday's coffee. And of course, as you can always know, it's roasted in Jerusalem. So this is kosher coffee, coffee that Jesus would have drank back in his day in Galilee. Of course, Jesus was Jewish, and so he would follow the Sabbath and all that kind of things, and so he would only eat kosher foods and drink kosher coffee. So if you want to be closer to Jesus, drink kosher coffee from Jerusalem. All right, so let's get into it. What else do we need to see here on the bag? Yeah, it's just there is a coffee brewer. Now, on the other bag, there was none of these icons of brewers. So I'm thinking that the owner is suggesting that this is best done as a French press coffee. Now, the problem is I don't have a French press. Well, I do have a French press. But the problem is I gave it to a friend of mine who wanted to borrow it for the weekend because he's on a trip. And he's like, hey, can I borrow your French press? I was like, sure. And then I was like, today? I was like, I guess I should have held off on it for another day because he's not leaving until tomorrow. But anyway, we're just going to use the Bonavita we used yesterday because that's essentially going to be a similar type of brew. We're talking like full immersion for 3 minutes and then pass through the filter. Now, that's the big difference between the two. It's going to pass through a filter, but while it's not necessarily French press, it's going to give us probably a better baseline to work with as a comparison with yesterday's coffee because we use this same process. Now, one of the things that's going to be different is that this with the paper filter is going to filter out the minor sediments as well as the essential oils that are left in the coffee in a French press brew. So that's the big difference. Also, there's a slight time difference. With French press, we wait a full 4 minutes before plunging it. This one will wait 3 minutes before opening the valve. And then that takes about 30 to 45 seconds to flow through. So there's a little bit of difference there. But those are the major differences. So how are you all doing today? Everything good? Weather here in Baltimore is really nice here on the 20th of September. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Well, let's get into this coffee here. Let's get it. So we're going to open it up. And I'm going to cut it open here. Already I can taste, I can just after cutting it already has this effervescence of definitely a much more roastier profile than yesterday. So let's look in here. How does it look? We see a little bit of glistening as the reflection starts, right? Not this one. We're going to pour it out into this. Oh, well, that's well, I guess it's surprising. So as you can see here, the coffee, it says French roast. I don't think this is actually much, maybe just a hair darker than yesterday's coffee. So I don't know if I would actually call this truly a French roast. I guess it could be a French roast. I tend to think of French roast as being a bit darker, a little bit more bold and black looking. This is just a little bit less than that. This is a nice dark chocolate brown. How does it smell? Definitely roasty. Definitely like deep cacao notes from that roastiness. Now, one of the things we had yesterday that I was really surprised with, or pleasantly surprised with, was that despite the coffee being heavily roasted, with some of the oils that are coming out, like in this one, you also have the oils that are coming out as well. You can see it's glistening, which, is something that will happen with medium or lighter roasted coffee after maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months. In time, those oils inherent in the bean will come to the surface. Now, if you're roasting it to a certain degree, it will bring those oils to the surface and cause a glistening effect like we see here. And that's neither here nor there, good or bad. It's up to you. It's whatever you kind of like. But definitely some toastier notes. And I'm surprised. I thought it would be a lot darker just by the name. But, well, there it is. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to... We need 24 grams to make our 12-ounce serving. There we go. A little bit extra for the grinder. So if you have any questions or thoughts, just let me know. We're here, always here to help, to talk about coffee. Part of what we want to do on this show is, to offer you any kind of guidance you might need or theories that you have to offer and have a discussion. And hopefully I get to learn something as well. And it's not just me pontificating constantly about whatever I'm proselytizing about. All right, back to the compact R80 grinder. Get our Buena Vita. Mom, good to see you, man. How was everything up in Queens today? Nice weather, I hope. Okay, so one of the things you want to make sure that you do with this Buena Vita is that there's a valve, right? This valve here. Make sure that this valve is closed. If you don't do this, you will have a world of hurt. It's happened to me more than once. More than once. So I had a question yesterday. Was it a question? Yeah, we were talking yesterday about decaf coffees and the flavors of decaf. And so I thought, you know what? I was doing some roasting yesterday, so I roasted up a batch of decaf, and I thought that we'll save that. So that's going to come up next week because I just roasted it yesterday. So we're going to wait a week for it to degas, and then we'll do some decaf talking about what kind of touching base on the qualities of decaf. What does decaf look like in a raw state versus the way when it's roasted? So we'll go through all of that. All right, we've got our good. Okay, so we're going this time. Yesterday we counted down. Today we're going to count up. So we're just going to add the water. Now I'm always doing this from this time we're going to tear the scale. I'm really a right-handed person, so doing it left-handed is quite the challenge. So we're doing about 96 grams right now. I'm going to start that out. We're going to give it 30 seconds or so to do its blooming thing, and then we're going to go back to pouring. So about 25 seconds now. So for our pouring, we want to break down this cap that's formed. So the nice thing is that it's relatively fresh coffee, so that's good. And then we're just going to go all the way up. I like to do this circular thing. Oh, I'm going to got to pay attention to the quantity. All right, there we go. But I like to go around just to make sure that I hit all of this coffee so that it falls. And now it's just a matter of waiting. So we're going to go to 3 minutes. We're a minute 15 right now. So it's going to take a few moments for us to get there. I'm working on a project at home actually in my mom's house. And so she's got this library and filled with all this stuff. So I'm been cleaning it out for her and trying to reorganize it. So that's been my project in the evenings. And then I was working in the office over here, and we've got these bookshelves that I built a few years back. Put all these books on it, coffee books and stuff like that. And let's see how the brew's doing. The brew's doing well, all right. And I have all these books on it. And the problem is that I wasn't really thinking, I support it on three sides, right? The three sides of the shelf are supported. but the front lip and everything across the span is not, except for the back edge, which is screwed into these supports. Well, there's been some sag, and so I tried to put a little bit of reinforcement a couple years ago, maybe a year ago, and it's still sagging, and it's like it's getting to be a little bit dramatic. So I got to work on that this week. Find a way to. I got to put new supports in, but the thing is so, bent down. I have to like push it up, so I think I have to bring a jack in here to jack it up to hold it the right angle to re-level it. Crazy. All right, here we go. We're 248. Let's take this. We're going to take this and put it on here. Good. Now we're at 3 minutes. We're going to open up the valve, and we're going to see just how long it takes for it to flow down. 3 minutes. You can kind of see it flowing, sort of. So like I said, it should take about 3 minutes, 30 seconds to 3 minutes, 45 seconds total to drop. One of the things we want, and that we do count that as part of our brew time. So we want to be 3.5 to 4 minutes. So 3.5 minutes there, good. It's kind of within the desired parameters that we have for it. It's almost taking the full 45 seconds. There we go, 45 seconds, almost the full minute now. 50 seconds, 52. We're still, about a minute. See, it takes almost a minute for it to totally fall down. And then we're just going to take that off of here. And I'm going to take the filter and coffee out, drop that in the trash, give it a nice rinse. All right. Now we've got our elixir here already. Looks a little bit darker, I guess, than yesterday. What do you think? Looks still pretty clear, though. Looks still clear. This thing's all like focusing on who knows what it's focusing on. Yeah, that's better. All right, let's give it a go. I still have a little sniffles, a lot less than yesterday, though. I get a lot of toasty notes, but not really discernible other aromatics. Whoa, there's definitely a deeper roast profile in this, and this one has more of a pungency on the inside of my cheeks. It's a different coffee. The base green coffee is also different than the other one. This is definitely more pungent, a little more bitters. Not my favorite. The roast profile also feels a little bit darker. There's a little bit of dirtiness. It's definitely not the same quality of coffee as yesterday. The other coffee yesterday, the green is a better green. You can taste that in the difference, but a little bit drier on the finish. Yesterday's coffee was more juicy, right? I think I said that it had that kind of Jolly Rancher kind of juiciness, not the flavor, but just the juiciness, that juiciness. And this is, or was that Monday? Life blends together after a while. I think it was yesterday. Anyway, you can look it up on yesterday's video and comment and say, "Hey, you were totally wrong you're totally lying to us." Okay, maybe I haven't. I don't know. However, this one is a drier on the finish. It is more pungent. It's not as juicy. It's definitely not a bright coffee. It's kind of a medium bodied. Like you always think that darker roasting is going to give you more body. Not necessarily. This is Unless maybe my whole perception of body is totally skewed by this point after all this time in the business. I don't know. It could be. But not as enjoyable as the golden bean, the golden black. The golden black was, I think, much more enjoyable than this one. All right, I don't know what else to say. It's a nice coffee. It's not terribly filled with like, fanfare and notes of like different flavors that are, this like symphony. It's just this kind of like it's relatively neutral, a little bit darker roasted. It has a little bit of pungency on the interior of your cheeks. It's a bit dry on the finish, medium bodied. Could be a great candidate for milk and sugar or cream and sugar. I don't know what other superlatives do I need to tell you. I don't know. All right, well, today's video is a little bit short today on our stream, but that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say about the coffee, and yeah, back again tomorrow. I'm working on what the topics are going to be for the rest of the week, but we got more coffees to taste, and yeah. So come back, join us tomorrow at 10. We'll have more coffees. All right. Mom, good to see you. Dan, and I'm sure you're out there somewhere. Oh, no. Oh, and also one thing. Those of you guys, if you guys remember our friend Bryan, who was in the comments yesterday, he was actually on TV. If you want to see what he looks like, link down in the description below. Look for WBAL. And he's actually involved with this whole charity thing where he raises funds with different organizations to build something called My Cozy Corner. These are little tiny spaces that they take up within elementary schools to give children a place to game, to hang out, to read. It's really a really great like thing that he started a couple of years ago. It's slowly growing, and he's looking to grow it more, I think. And so if you want to check it out and see a little bit more what it looks like and all that, check out the video down below in the description. And I think you'll find it to your liking. All right, well, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you, Mom. Good to see you as always. And back again tomorrow, 10 a.m. with another coffee Q&A right here for you. See you then.